So I want to tell you a story. A tale of elation, followed by despair, then redemption. But Doc, you say, what the f*** does that have to do with the Laugo alien? This is the life cycle of my alien. No facehuggers or xenomorphs were harmed in the filming of this video.
You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? Perfect organism. Its structural perfection is matched only by its hostility.
You admire it.
I admire its purity.
The perfect organism. Its structural perfection only matched by its hostility. Vicious speed. Hardened exoskeleton. Acid for blood? Well, maybe not the last two. To quote Ash on Ridley Scott's Alien, I admire its purity. The Laugo alien is a pure shooting experience. When you interact with this firearm, you forget about all the other pistols you've ever shot. It's so unique that everything you have shot previously gets compared to it. It stands alone. Comparisons aren't even warranted because in terms of operating system, recoil impulse, trigger feel, the exchangeable sight system, every detail is unique. So why does this story contain any sadness? Well, let's start at the beginning. Have you ever impulse bought a gun because of a sale? I have. Have you ever had a $1,200 discount on a pistol? I have. I was spending a weekend shooting with a bunch of buddies outside of Salt Lake in April of 2023. Unfortunately for me, my buddies have very expensive taste. That weekend I shot multiple high-end guns. Nighthawks, Atlas, Alchemy, even Infinity were represented at the course. I was feeling a little bit excited, but a little bit inadequate as well with my staccato. But as fate would have it, that weekend I received an email from Lancer Systems. Must have been some marketing cookie from previously visiting the site. Earlier that year, Lancer Systems had started importing the Laugo alien. And with the growing popularity of the platform and mystique and interest around the platform, they were starting to form a US division so they could distribute them more easily. And they were rebranding to Laugo USA. They had to liquidate all of their older guns. So they were offering a super steep discount, like a 40% discount. After lusting after all those god-tier pistols all weekend, the FOMO was real, and I ended up picking up the Laugo. The next week, it arrived at my FFL. Have you ever been overly impressed with the presentation and packaging of a firearm? I have. The case that the alien comes in is no Glock box.
Put the gun down.
I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, David.
It seems that envy is my sin.
No, what's in the box?
Not till you give me the
What's
gun.
in the box?
Give me the gun.
It is a straight up TSA approved, lockable hard side, badass bank vault of a box. Comfortable rubber grip? Absolutely. Check. Rubber gasket and pressure valve for flying? Check. Laser cut foam inside? Check. Irons and a red dot included? Check. Tools, gun solvent, lube, 3 mags, a freaking holster? Check, check, check. This was like a Hollywood swag bag for gun guys. Just about as much as included lube as a P. Diddy white party. Pretty much a starter kit for any competition shooter. Or Zelensky's bodyguards? Yeah, look it up. I couldn't wait to get to the range. So I field stripped it, cleaned it, lubed it, and took it out. Upon disassembly, I noticed a few things. Number 1, build quality and machining were superb for a high-end pistol, as you would expect. Number 2, it was super easy to maintain and take apart. And number 3, oh my God, what the fuck is this operating system? Turns out, it operates very similarly to an HKP7 on a gas-elated or gas-retarded piston system. Meaning a few things. It's loud, it's dirty, and it gets real hot. In fact, at times you have to stop having fun because the frame and slide, trigger guard, and even trigger become like liquid hot magma.
With liquid hot magma.
It also supports a bizarre inverted hammer system that allows the hammer to swing down from the top of the slide instead of swinging up like most hammers do. That allows it to have the lowest bore axis of any pistol on the planet. Bizarre yet functional. When your finger is on the frame in register and not ready to fire, the barrel is actually in line with your finger or even slightly below it. Very, very strange, but very, very cool. With all the weirdness, what does that do for you? It shoots real flat. So it has a fixed barrel, and I gauged the trigger at about 3 pounds. So it can be phenomenally accurate as well as fast. This is no Browning tilting barrel action. The only reciprocating mass is the small piece of the slide on top. The actual top cover is fixed, as well as the red dot or the sights. More of a sharp jab in terms of recoil impulse instead of the traditional flip that you would get with a typical handgun. Marry that jab sensation with the massive window of the custom Seymour optic, and now you're cooking. It gets hot. I put about 500 rounds through it in a few range trips, and I was in love. Who cares about Walthers, Glocks, staccatos when you have an alien, right? The only time I put it down was to let it cool off. So you remember when I told you I was shooting out with a bunch of buddies in Utah? It turns out that was the 1911 Syndicate. Jake and Chris had hosted a course with Mike Pannone for a very lucky few. I started pitching the idea to Jake about reviewing my alien. It piqued his interest, and after doing a little bit of research on his own, he said, sure, ship it out. So I shipped it to him, and he started the review process. After his first range trip, he left me a voicemail, and you could tell he could barely contain his elation. Direct quote, have you ever been able to shoot any of your other pistols as fast as the alien? No, I haven't. I was excited to hear about their filming day when I got a call from Jake and Chris on the Bonneville Salt Flats. The alien went down, they said. What? They recounted the malfunction, and it seemed like something was hanging up on the inside of the slide and preventing it from going into battery. They took it apart, they lubed it. That didn't really help. I hadn't had a single malfunction, and so my heart really sank. They were able to shoot enough footage to still release a video of their own. Check that one out. It's way better than this. But in the end, they had to cut their shooting day short. Collectively, we decided to send it back to Laugo so they could RMA it, and then eventually it would come back to me after it was done. Of note, Laugo stated that they replaced the slide release, which I have had some issues with it not locking back occasionally. It's getting super dirty. You can see the stovepipe in there. And they also stated that it was likely debris from the Bonneville Salt Flats that was getting into the piston system and fouling up the gun. When I got it back, I still felt dejected, but I was determined to continue loving this gun because it's awesome. To date, I haven't had a single malfunction like what Jake and Chris described. I also don't shoot my footage on the Bonneville Salt Flats because I'm a loser.
What? What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
But I have to say, I think it was the environment more than the actual gun in that specific case. I can't say I have never had a malfunction. The gas piston system leads to crazy fouling on the inside of the gun. And much like a high-end 1911, once it gets dirty, you can feel it starts to get a little bit sluggish. Occasionally, I'll have a stovepipe. That's usually after I haven't cleaned it for 500 to 1,000 rounds. So I just keep it clean, and it runs pretty well. probably have 3,000 to 5,000 rounds, estimating. I've shot it a lot more recently, and I'm still in love. This gun shoots awesome. So is it a carry gun? Nope. Is it a duty gun? Nope. With the exception of a certain Eastern European presidential detail. Seriously, look it up. You paid for that. Is it a WROL gun? Nope. But it is hyper accurate, hyper fast, hyper flashy, and a hyper flat shooting barbecue gun. Hell yeah, brother! If you get a chance to shoot one of these, take the opportunity. It is a little bit of a unicorn and super enjoyable to shoot. Once again, I admire its purity. This is the Pop Doctor signing off. I may or may not be a doctor.